So I want to talk about, too, for a new company just getting off the ground, what are some ways innovators can maybe meet VCs or equity funding? How do you make connections? How do you break into that world? And what's, the best tips to get started?
Well, you'll find that if you reach out to me on LinkedIn, I'm pretty responsive, or if you can find one of my emails somewhere, you will get a response from me pretty much. Not everybody's like that, but finding entrepreneurs in the community or venture partners that are out there or something else, because like it or not, right? It's a lot about networking. I had to build my network when I got to Boston in 2010 because I'd been all over the world with Lilly, but nowhere in particular. And so, I've come to really understand how important your network is in this community. But I also love to give back to people, and I will meet for coffee, and I will do other things, and I have colleagues that will do the same. So I think it's coming to things like this because there's so many opportunities here in Boston area to do this that, that's what you have to do, and try to meet people and kind of do a little bit of pitching and understanding and listening as well in those forums. So that's I guess what I can offer.
Yeah, well, I would, say that you need to be in the right geography for starters. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
And I've met entrepreneurs all over over the country and over the world, for that matter. And you find entrepreneurs everywhere. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that. But if you look at places like, Silicon Valley, Boston, Austin, Texas, these are hubs of innovation. They understand the notion of doing entrepreneurial experiments. They know how to run them. They know what they cost. They know how to get there quickly. It's a well-traveled path. They're very good at it. And I think that anyone who's interested in starting their own company, there's tremendous resources. I mean, this forum has been running for ages, and I think if you're in this community, probably walk down the street and find a venture guy or somebody that'll talk to you about it. So I think there's plenty of opportunity. I think it's more difficult when you're somewhere else. There are parts. If I were an entrepreneur in, I don't want to. If I pick a city, somebody will be offended.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'd move. That's probably what I would do at that point.
So definitely being in the Boston area for a technology group, a research device was being key. And then, starting with the angels, other, from the university groups, if there are angels there. I've gotten a lot of support from groups that are trying to increase the presence of female CEOs and, females in the C-suite. So the Capital Network, they have a female fellowship, and they do a lot of that. So that was great. Golden Seeds is another for-woman-only venture company, so they've been tremendous. But, going out with coffee, meeting people, talking with people, then, meeting the people they suggest, and really just taking the time to work all those connections is the best way until you find that one advocate who will go round up all their friends and say, okay, now we should really do this. So it takes a while, a lot of networking.
I agree. It's networking, and it's where you're located. We're in an excellent place for innovation. It just so happens that we have excellent universities. There's a lot of real intelligent people where we are concentrated here in Boston. And it also happens to be the plastics manufacturing capital of the United States. So for me, in terms of manufacturing a plastic disposable device, I couldn't be in a better place. But beyond that, that was the point which I needed to go and find outside investors, and it's networking. And I had to build a different network than I had in my previous business. Yeah. And it's coming to events like this, and I'll tell you that I like to share stories. So if someone comes up to me and shares with me their story, and I think that it's inspirational or really has something interesting to it, I will offer to make that introduction. So just talking to people and telling them genuinely what you're thinking and what you're doing you'll find someone who may not have the answer or find the investor, but they may introduce you to the person. And that's the way that I've always found our initial investors, is through telling the story who then told someone else who told someone else.